Magandang gabi, ako po si Trixie Cruz-Angeles. Um, and this is Luminous. Pasensya na po na medyo nablangko ako saglit. Binabati ko lang kayo this evening, lalong-lalo na yung mga early birds, si Lenti, Alpax the Great, Mike Laluan, Daisy Collis, and Power in Disc, Rain Pine Book, Leo Greg Imperial, Genkuro Shuriken, DMT, Virginia Peterson, and Far Ida Otsoko. Ma'am Pinay Paparazzi, magandang gabi po ma'am. Ate Liz Vlogs, Ella Michamiki o Choco Fam. Next. Jennifer Condo, John Bryan, Monterola, Alan Miranda, Lala Green, Agbayani Ustin. Hi, kay No Name, Gino Eugenio. Ano yan, LGP or IGP? Um, Hanamichi Tolentino, Menchi Nifled, Clarence, Annabel, Lindy Lozola, Joanne, Puen, Robert Perez, Castro Emilio, Glenn Kabambang, Soya, Sofia, Orobia, Mariano Tan Jr., Emily Ann, David Bacolod, Trinidad Havellana. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. So, I wonder what is up with the Team Robredo, kumbaga. Kasi, and we call it Team Robredo kasi parang once or twice ko pa lang silang nakikita na magkasama ni Kiko or doing something together. So, kaya yun yung one of the first differences between Leni's camp and Uni team is that the BBM Sara team, they emphasize the team between the two of them. And of course, they're another Senate candidates and so on. Si Madam, parang solo lakad. So, anyway, biglang in one interview, si Madam, or no, sorry, live. So, she read a comment about yung nga 40 times 4, somebody calling her out again for that. At sinabi pa niya, kawawa ka naman, naniniwala ka sa fake news, spliced yung video. But of course, the video remains in existence all over the internet. Nandyan pa siya sa Rappler. And so I took a look at it again several times. And I'm wondering, kasi in November they brought this up and then they're bringing it up again today. So just for, so that we know what we're talking about, I transcribed it para mas madali. I included pati yung mga am-am niya kasi she has a tendency to do this. So ito, kasi kung pagbabasihan natin, presyo pa lang ng bigas, as of 2 weeks ago, di ko na alam ngayon, wala akong update sa presyo, 42, kasi may kausap siya. As of today, 42 yung presyo ng bigas, that's 4 pesos. 4 pesos, ewan ko saan niya nakuha yung 4 pesos. 4 pesos mas mahal kaysa dun sa umpisa ng pagkwenta ng trade. What does she mean sa pagkwenta ng trade? ang 4 pesos ang estimate nila 10 kilos per week per Filipino family. So kung 10 pesos per week, 10 kilos per week per Filipino family, ano na 'yon? 'Di ba 40 a week na agad? Sa isang buwan, di 40 times 4, edi 1,600. Bigas pa lang 'yon. So I went back dun sa ibang mga news at the time when they were trying to justify it. Ang sabi nila is, hindi, she meant, ano ba yan? 42 times 40. So 1,600 estimate daw rounded off. Parang ganon. So she meant to multiply yung 42 times 40. Yun yung ibig sabihin niya. Para yung cost ng bigas, tama ba yan? Yung cost ng bigas, kasi ang weird yung cost siya ng bigas, times, ano ba yan? Oh, supposedly, times, mali talaga rin. So anyway, the point here is, nakakaloka Kasi nila nakuha yung 42 times 40. Anyway, but the point here is, after so many years, na after sinabi niya yon, because if I'm not mistaken, this was about 2019, Naalala ko kasi, at the time the NFA administrator was Jason Aquino. So I remember na naging issue talaga yung bigas and we were right in the middle of trying to prevent the Rice Tarification Act. So nakatutok ako dun sa issue ng bigas. So this was one of those, how do you call this? Yung ano, comic relief moments. Ma'am Nila Layug, maraming salamat po. One of those comic relief moments na ayan, nasabaw na naman siya, hindi na naman nag-isip. Masyadong mabilis either yung bibig, di nakaka-catch up yung brain. So, and I'm surprised na suddenly, she mentions this. Tapos biglang sasabihin niya, spliced yung video. So, I took a close look at what was happening on social media and I realized that this is part of a campaign. So, yung campaign niya is to make it appear that Leni Robredo is intelligent. So, ang kasabay nito, yung naglabas ng picture of herself with her daughters, tapos nakalagay doon yung mga educational achievements nila, including her own. Parang, oh, ito, matatalino yung daughters niya. Saan pa manggagaling yan? Sa ina, who has a degree in economics and a degree in law and so on. And binanggit pati honorary degrees in, anyway, Doctor of Laws, which really doesn't say much for your intelligence. It's supposed to say something about your achievement, but that is the point. They're trying to change the narrative kasi parang nagiging factual na for most people of her lack of uh well, okay, for the well, I'm trying to be nice kasi sa hindi siya gano'n ka-smart or gano'n ka-intelligent. And of course, since ang gusto nila tumakbo siya at maging presidente siya ng bansa, medyo kakabahan siyempre yung mga tao dahil if you're not smart enough to know na mina-manipulate ka ng ibang tao, if you're not smart enough to be to discern the differences between certain words, the difference between vein and nerve and so on, then it, people will get nervous about making you in charge of the panic button. Di ba? In the US, the president has the sole discretion to for the launch codes of nuclear weapons. Dito sa Pilipinas, fortunately, we have no nuclear weapons, but she is still in charge of the fate of over 100 million Filipinos here. And, di ba, how many abroad? How many OFWs now? Over 10 million. Hmm. So, it's really, kaya it's not a coincidence, no, na ito yung propaganda, they're drumming up, ito nga, supposedly she has so many degrees and all that. Of course, merong konting pitik yan to BBM because they claim, take note, they claim he never even graduated his undergraduate course. But he does have, and they don't contest his master's degree, his postgraduate degree. So, well, that's strange. So, but that's what it is right now. So nakikita natin, it's the Leni team, it's the PR push to make her appear more intelligent than at yung mga sinasabi natin o yung mga batikos ng mga pro other candidates is that she lacks intelligence. I would say that she lacks wit. Sometimes she lacks common sense. She lacks depth of understanding. And in fact, she lacks originality. Kasi kung titignan nyo, most of the time, she is very simplistic, no, dun sa pag nag-explain siya. I mean, you can reduce things to simple terms. Pero yung sa kanya, it's as though she has not enough uh, deep understanding of any topic that she's asked to speak on. Meaning, mababaw yung dahil mababaw din yung kanyang pagkakaintindi. So now, trying to make her look like a more rounded candidate or far more intelligent because syempre yung mga kalaban niya articulate. So, hindi nila puwedeng sabihin na, "Oh, itong si Leni magaling ito magsalita," because sablay na talaga. Instead, they're trying to make her look intelligent, more intelligent, and now kino-contest nila yung math. It would have been simpler for them to say na, okay, sometimes when she gets rattled, she makes mistakes. She actually meant, uh, she didn't mean to make a mistake, and everybody makes mistakes in calculation. Di tayo lahat ganun kagagaling sa mental math, and they could have just said that, okay, she made a mistake on this one. And then we could have all moved on. Instead, they're gaslighting us. Gusto nilang ipalabas na kaya tayo natatawa dyan sa math at ginagawa siyang object ng katatawanan over a spliced video. Fake news pa tayo ngayon. Diba? And this is the part that I don't like. Kasi parang ang lumalabas, kasalanan pa natin yung mali niya dun sa pag-calculate. It's spliced, really? Ito, I took it apart for you. I transcribed it for you. And there it says, kung 10 pesos per week, ay 10 kilos, I mean, per week, per Filipino family, ano yon 40 a week. So, she's talking about 40 kilos a week. Di ba? So, ano yun? Kung 40 pesos at 40 kilos a week, yun yung 1,600. So, ang claim nila, she really meant 1,600 because she was talking about 42 uh, pesos times 40 kilos per week. But that's not what she said. It's very clear that what she said was 40 times 4, edi 1,600. So, seriously, it's not eto to, sabi pa ni Jeff, 4 pesos is price of rice increase. 10 pesos per week usage, 4. 10 kilos per week ang usage. 4 equals weeks in a month. So, 160 equals total times 10. Saan ito? 10 months. 10. Oo nga naman. So, 4 was the price increase. At 10. So, she should have, nalito siya eh. Nalito siya dun sa she talked about price increase. She was supposed to calculate only the price increase. Tapos, ayan nalito na siya dun sa It's no wonder that she would have said something like, wala nang Q&A, magmerienda na lang tayo. Di ba? No wonder she says things like that. Pero ang hindi ko gusto, yung palalabasin nila, hello, nagkamali na nga ang lola nyo. Ngayon, palalabasin ninyo na, fake news, kasalanan namin, and may malis pa. Kasi spliced daw yung video. But that's ridiculous. She makes a mistake and somehow it's all our fault. Only because they want her to look intelligent. And they want her to look intelligent because, of course, she will be in charge of steering this country, or they hope she will be in charge of steering this country. What the heck? Sabi ni Arman, 40 was supposed to be 50 kilos in a sack. Yung 4 was a difference between the 38 per kilo last month at naging 42 na. Kahit saan mo tignan, 4 lang tumama. Mali-mali pa rin, nagpapalusot pa. Yun na nga eh. But plus, they brought this up already as early as November. Hindi natin masyadong pinagpapatol. Kaya lang, she brings it up again. And this time, napapansin siya because, eto na nga, lumalabas na yung mga media cards nila na andyan kasama niya yung daughters niya. And come on, her daughters do seem to have good academic achievements, no question about that. Tapos itatabi siya parang to make it look like matatalino itong mga to, and by osmosis or genetics or biology or just by standing next to them, matalino din siya. So, you know, if we had seen like a video of her saying, alam nyo, minsan kasi pag nagsasalita ako, I get a little rattled and so on. Pasensya na kayo, I'll have to do this slowly. If she had done something like that, okay, we would have said, oh, sige, tao lang, okay lang. But she doesn't apologize and instead blames us. And anong tawag dyan, di ba? Parang parang noy-noy lang. parang si Pinoy na it was everybody's fault except his. Yung sa Mama Sapa 'no, yung mga tao kasi yan ang inabiso sa akin. Wala akong alam diyan. Always nagiging gano'n siya. And so this is a part 2 of that. Hindi ako nagkamali, spliced yung video, maldita kayong lahat. Gano'n. It we wouldn't have made so much commentary on it if she had just said, "Oops, sorry. Mali, move on." But hindi nila kaya. Sabi nga ng isang comment dun sa Luminous or sa Twitter yata ko nakita, parang requirement yata para dun sa partido nila kailangan mayabang ka. So, dito patong-patong, mali ka na nga, you pass the blame off pa to other people. So, we have to watch out for people like this, ha? Anong mangyayari pagkadating dun sa let's say, magkaroon ng malaking fluke at naupo siya. Every time magkamali siya, kayo may kasalanan, kayong taong bayan. Well, in that case, she might be right. Kung mahalal siya, kasalanan natin yan. Okay, thank you kay Ria Moore David and thank you kay Monica 17. Maraming salamat for your time and for disseminating and dissecting information. Eto, sabi ni Adrian, bakit walang defense mga kakamping sa 1,700 islands? Electric current, Hadouken, Saudi Rupiah, Nerve, pakisagot nga. O, isa pa yan, di ba? Baka mamaya sasabihin na naman nila, spliced yan, kasalanan kasi ninyo. But that's, it's, parang ang tingin nila kasi, because they place so much emphasis, ito yung problema sa kanila. Remember yung sinasabi, di ba, na it doesn't have to be true, it just has to look it. They put so much emphasis on what she looks like or how she looks. She must look intelligent, she must come across as intelligent without actually investing in what she knows. Siguro, they keep her so busy, pa-cute, smile, ganyan, without giving her the time to read. Or maybe ayaw rin lang niya. And yun ang problema ko din sa kanya. Wala siyang kusa. Girl, you have to talk about national issues. Pero wala kang ka-idea. Scripted lahat. Kaya tuloy, yung nakikita mo, she's trying to think. She's always buying time pag nagsasalita siya. 'Di ba? She will say something like, ano ba yan? She'll say, ganito kasi A. A kasi ganito, B. B kasi ganito. Okay. So, when you're taking up speech, maaalala nyo, at least this is what our professor used to say to us, is that you watch out for certain quirks, yung mga yung mga uulitin niya something, or even this person when they say, sir, how do you do this? Thank you for that question. Yung pag nagsasabi siyang thank you for that question, he's buying time so he can think. Si Madam seems to be constantly buying time because she doesn't, she's never thought of it before or wala sa arsenal niya. So she's searching for an answer and sometimes she's searching for an answer that isn't there. Kasi garbage in, garbage out lang naman yung pag bibigay ka ng interview. Kung may alam ka, lalabas yon. Kung wala kang alam, lalabas din yun. Ito, sabi ni Jerome, if Leni is a brilliant individual, she will find ways to solve the cause of death of her husband. But she was not skeptical to believe the cause of death. Or maybe she just didn't want to or didn't feel like having it deeply investigated. Let's give it to Lugaw, sabi ni Ali Robles. Hindi siya medically informed. Sige, kasi lawyer siya at VP, ask her about the Rome Statute. Sabi ni Emmanuel Torino, matagal kasi hinanap yung nerve niya na tinuruan sa IV. And there's a whole list of her mistakes. And alam nyo, tama kayo eh. Kasi, sabihin na natin spliced yung 40 times 4, pero hindi talaga ha. I will never, it was not. Okay, wag tayong maglokohan at wag tayong magpadala dun sa sinasabi niya. In fact, the audacity, ha, the nerve, literal, the nerve, the audacity to say spliced yan without an iota of evidence to show that. And it's on the website of the rag that they support. It's wrong on so many counts. And how dare you try to embarrass somebody with a blatant lie? I think that's what people are skipping. We're so intent on belittling her lack of intelligence, we're not giving enough emphasis on her malice. Malice yan. Spliced yung video. May papahiyain siya, sasabihin niya yung tao na yon fake news. When actually, siya yung hindi nagpapakita no, oh, ito yung video. Ito, oh, nakikita niya, nag-skip siya. Yan yung proof na spliced yan, but there's none. There's no offer of that at all. And in fact, if it was spliced, bakit nung umpisang-umpisa, yung mga defenses ninyo had nothing to do with whether or not that video was spliced. You assume that that's really what she said. And in fact, ang sinasabi ninyo is that, no, she meant to say 42 times 40. Okay? Sige. Rounded off daw, kaya 1600 lang ang sinasabi niya. But that splice thing, recent yan. Hindi yan totoo. And mampapahiya pa kayo ng tao, tapos papalabasin ninyo yung mga nagsusuporta sa ibang kandidato. Maldita sila, kami. Simply because you made a mistake and somehow it's our fault. So, ang hirap gawa ng complication ng quotable quotes ni Leni kasi laging may update. Totoo yan. There's always something new. How do you call this? Alam niyo, parati siyang merong bago. And minsan inaano ko nga ano bang latest? Pag sinabi ko anong latest, what new hell has she unleashed on us again today? Pero like I said, so many people want to emphasize then, oh no, hindi mabait, she's good. Hindi siya nagnakaw. Excuse me, election. Nagnakaw ka. O sasabihin na naman nila, fake news. But the allegations are out there. And for the public, for many of us in the public, this has never been explained satisfactorily considering na yung ebidensya na lumabas sa Senado ay hindi man lang natalakay sa Presidential Electoral Tribunal. At dahil hindi yan natalakay, people will always go back to that na there was somebody stole the elections. Meron din pong video na sinasabi ni P. Duterte na ayaw niya kay Marcos kasi baka magnakaw uli. Spliced po ba yun o hindi? I haven't seen that. And no, I have not heard of that. What the president has said was that PBM was a weak leader. But even the video where he talks about possible cocaine habit, he never mentions BBM's name. So, I'm sorry, I might not be informed, but I have never seen that video, nor even heard about it. So, besides, okay, and I'd like to point out a flaw in your argument. Let's assume that there is a spliced video or not spliced video of President Duterte saying something against BBM. Will that make Leni intelligent? Hindi rin. In other words, hindi mo sinasagot. Ang ina-argue dito is what are they up to? What is Leni up to? And did she in fact say this? It's a factual question. And you can say whatever you want about BBM, but no matter what you say, it's not going to add brains to Leni Robredo or make her look even better. Kaya nga, yung ganyan na siraan, it's illogical. So what you're trying to do is, si naman, ganyan din eh. Really? Sabi ni Ma'am Menchi, kahit sabihin natin siya yung nagnakaw ng boto ni BBM, di niya pinapansin kasi totoo. Yun. Sabi ni Jolo ba? Garcia, pinapangalandakan ng kampo ni Leni Robredo, may at least doctorate degree siya. Yung doctorate naman niya ay honorary. Eh yun na nga eh, isa pa yun eh. Ginagaslight din nila tayo eh. Parang they make it look like she deserves it. For what? Achievements in law? I apologize if there's contempt in my voice, but that is exactly how I feel about that statement. Sa Twitter, nagkalat mga supporters ni Madam, pinagmamalaki pala Lunas. I actually saw a post calling that person the foremost blogger for the for the opposition. Okay, you can say that. Super J says, kala kasi nila pag i-turn down ni PRRD si BBM, di na kami boboto kay BBM. Sorry, boboto ko pa rin kumpara sa kanya na medyo kulang-kulang, Leni Robredo. Over my dead body na iboboto ko si Leni. Correct. Right? Carlo de Regla says, kailangan debate na taong bayan magtatanong, di yung ABS-CBN GMA TV5 lang gagawa ng tanong na nakakabobo lang, wala namang laman. Sabi ni engineer, sayang sarado yung clowns, pwedeng stand-up comedian si VP Leni. But there again, that's what I'm saying. You're all concentrating on how funny her her thoughtless statements come across. But I'm emphasizing the malice here. Hindi naman, kumbaga, nagkamali ka and you blame somebody else for that. That's malice. Okay? That's not something to be proud of. At yung mga sinasabi parati ng kanyang kampo na at least di nagnakaw, at least mabait siya. Ganito yan, kung wala kang kasi parang gusto nila nasa level ng santo. Ano ba? Doesn't exist. And in fact, they're not helping the political maturity ng taong bayan. Well, there are people who will have there are people who will have faults and they will have achievements. Ang ginagawa lang natin dito is hinahanap natin yung best na kandidato. Huwag na tayong umasa ng flawless or faultless na kandidato. Lahat meron. Tao eh. Buti kung kung namimili tayo among the saints, eh hindi naman. We're just looking for the best candidate. And you know what? The best candidate doesn't even have to be the smartest. O yan, madam ha, partida ka na. But the person who can lead us. The person na kayang niyang magkumpas. Kaya niyang magsabi na, ikaw, ito, gawin mo ito, gawin ito. And then, magfa-follow up. O, nasa na? O, hindi mo kaya. Kung hindi mo kaya, palitan na lang kita. Kasi ito, this is where I want to bring the country in 6 months, in 1 year, in 2 years, in 6. Kung hindi kaya ng iboboto natin yan, wag na. Ito nga, hindi nga kaya niya mag-memorize ng script then that's even worse. Because she has not displayed any mark of leadership. Ang lumalabas, everybody has to explain for her. Everybody has to, somebody always brings her somewhere o tuturo sa kanya, ito yung script, ito yung ganyan. Kailangan si Attorney Barry pa ang mag-explain and yung mga birada ay nanggagaling sa kanya. You remember some years ago may sinagot si Mayora Sara kay Leni, and then ang sumasagot para sa depensahan si Leni was somebody else. Diba? It was either Barry or other supporters and so on. Ha! And while kunwari, yung mga nagsusuporta kay Presidente Digong, sinasagot natin para sa kanya, when it is his turn, nakakasagot din siya. No question. Pero dito, pagka may bumibira na kay Leni, magre-retreat siya and she lets other people handle it. And you know why? Because she can't. And that's the problem. Some years ago, nanonood ako ng ano ba 'to, America's Got Talent, okey, or no. Yeah, America's Got Talent. Okay? So merong nag-audition na babae, and she was dancing and singing pero she didn't have that much of a voice. She was fat. Okay lang yung fat, may talent, she was out of shape. Okay, not naman fat. She was out of shape and she couldn't dance very well. Well, sabi lang ni Simon, I'm sorry. Okay, so no, it's a no for me, it's a no for me. So sabi ng girl, why don't you give me a chance? Kasi the only reason daw that the other singers could do it was because they had voice coaches, they have dance instructors, they had the gym, they had makeovers and all of that. Sabi niya, give me a chance. If you gave me the same things, I could do what they do. At sabi ni Simon, no, it doesn't work that way. First, you have to have talent. And then that's when people will invest in you. Ganun yung nakikita ko dito kay Madam. There's no leadership. There's no political savvy. There's no intelligence there. Maybe she's nice, but is that enough to make her president of the country? Wala tayong nakikita. And ang ginagawa ng kabila, kung ano yung pagkukulang niya, ina-attempt nilang punuin. Pupunuin nila with either yung PR, parang glossy-glossy na lang, 'di ba? Yung bibihisan siya, ihahadukin siya. It's all PR, it's all smoke and mirrors. Pero yung talent nung kanilang manok kulang. Yun ang hindi nila pinupuno. Pupunuin nila with people who speak for her. May attempt pa sila, may mga parang troll din sila or trollish behavior on their part. But again, when it comes down to it, when she's up there alone by herself, alone na nga by herself, no? Kaloka. Okay. But when she's up there and she's being interviewed and there's nobody to coach her, she fails. And I'm thinking ko that's how things are going to happen later on. If we let her occupy higher position, a position with so much more responsibility, she will fail because the talent isn't there. Ni wala nga yung nakikita kong sipag na matuto. She is not learning. She has been occupying the position of vice president for 5 years. Wala man lang pumasok sa utak niya na political savvy. Partida yan, meron pa siyang tutor. Tapos, eto pa, may mga lumalabas pa. Yan na nga, meron pang mga mas market-friendly daw si Madam Leni. What is market-friendly? Madali siya ibenta? Hindi nga eh. For all, whatever it is they have been spending on PR, it isn't working. Kaya nga itong we can see right through it, spliced video. Itong mga making attempts to make her look intelligent, yun na lang po ang punuin nyo. Turuan nyo siya. I'll even hand it over to Manny Pacquiao. Bago siya nag-senador, nag-aral siya. Yeah, nag-enroll siya sa UP. Ate V did the same thing. Nag-enroll. Para they would be ready for the position that they were going to occupy. Ito hindi. Tapos, ibibenta nyo sa amin market-friendly? Ano yun? Mukha siyang patatas? Market-friendly ka dyan. Ayan, sabi ni madali bentahan. Sabi ni Ma'am Daisy, mas matino pa siguro kausapin si Siri o si Alexa. Ay, totoo. Kasi on point sumagot. Candidate na si Leni pagkasanto, di nagnakaw, honest, walang bahid ng korupsyon. The most deserving, market-friendly sa black market. Diba? Hindi nila kina-count as corruption yung mga reklamo sa kanya for whatever she has failed to do during elections. Di ako pro-BBM pero kung kinabukasan ng aking mga angkan ang pinag-uusapan, di makakatikim ng boto ko si FVP Leni, kay BBM na lang ang boto ko. That's my point, di ba? Kasi hindi nila talaga tayo ma-convince. And yun ang nakakairita, is that her people are not listening. And neither is she. Ganyan ba ang team na ilalagay natin sa pwesto? Yung mga no matter what we think, they're going to gaslight us by saying, ay hindi, hindi kayo dapat nandinig kayo talaga. Nakakahiya kayo. Naniniwala kayo sa fake news. Naks, ayan na. Tayo pa ngayon may kasalanan. Hihingi ng boto natin pero kasalanan natin yung fake news. Sige. How would she handle the economic, political pandemic and sick criticism President Duterte is daily thrown at him? I don't think she can. Ay, yun na eh. Kasi nga po, isa lang naman talaga plataforma niya. Ang harangin daw ang candidacy ni BBM. Bahala na si Batman pagkatapos. Isa pa yan. Walang sustansya yung mga sinasabi niya gaya ng lugaw na ang sahog, patis na may luya. O, isa pa yon. I-defend pa nila yung mali. So, yung mga tipong, makikita natin yung sandakot ng bigas na pinapamigay nila. Tapos sasabihin nila, tayo pa daw. O yan, sabihin ko sa inyo, that is one serving. Kaya talaga, bakit nyo binabatikos yan? Binibigyan na nga yung taong bayan, galit pa kayo. Galit kami kasi kasama dun sa pagbibigay ninyo ng sandakot na bigas, may insulto pa. Parang, it's a mistake pa daw. Tayo pa yung mali na binabatikos yung sandakot na bigas na yon. And that has been the way they're conducting this campaign, ha? Yun ang pino-point out ko. The evil here, sasabihin lang, hindi evil, mabait si Leni and all that. Hindi nga nila masabi, hindi, matalino si Leni. They can't say that directly. So instead, they'll put her, she has so many degrees. Nax. Matatalino yung daughters niya. Nax. Spliced yung video. Nax. So, tapos tayo may kasalanan. Ang galing. Diba? Stop asking for our votes if you're going to gaslight us. My goodness, what's wrong with you guys? Ay, hindi po pwede. Yung mga nagsasabi na wag pansinin si Lugaw, Lucaret yan, papansinin natin because hindi pwedeng hindi natin i-challenge yan. At hindi pwedeng hindi natin ipakita itong mga nila, yung malis dito. And I'm going to call it out for what it is. It's malis. Nagkamali siya tapos tayo yung pinapalabas nilang mali. Yun ang hindi pwede. Gusto niya magpresidente, so next time kung presidente siya at magkamali siya, palalabasin niya taong bayan may kasalanan. That's evil. And it's a lie. Ganun kasi ang way ng pagtulong pag pinks. Tutulong sila pero may kasamang sumbat at paninira sa kalaban. Pwede naman tumulong tapos wag na humirit. O, yun na nga eh. Eto, yeah, I saw that garbage collection guy. He said he felt very insulted with the lugaw. Exactly. Pero palalabasin nila na, no, okay yan, that's one serving. And it's generous. Whoa, excuse me. Pasensya na, ha? Balita ko bubuhayin ang Mars One program na magpapadala ng human sa Mars on a one-way ticket. Better send Leni to Mars. Oh please, baka maghasik ng lagim dyan. Sabi ni engineers, para daw akong alpha wolf. What does that mean? What we need is an alpha wolf in charge of us, in charge of the country, and Leni certainly is not that. Sasabihin na naman nila na parati nating iniinsulto yung napakabait nilang kandidato. Excuse me, hindi mabait yon. She's lying. Diba? Mabait ba yon? Palalabasin mo, mapapahiya ka ng ibang tao over a lie, over some wrong that you did. And magiging tama ba yung mali mo na yon by piling a lie on top of that? Masyado na tayong matanda para magkalukuhan pa ng ganyan. O yan pa yon. Meron pang mga lawyers for Leni, but that's losing steam, ha? Kasi parang every time somebody criticizes Leni, meron silang, oh, lawyers for Leni, etong isa pa. Kasuhan nyo. Sige, game. Game. Para alam ninyo din yung paano niya malalaman yung address, paano niya malalaman yung so on and ano. And sige, kaliwat kanan kayo mag-file ng kaso. For every one person that you're going to sue, they have family. Or let's say one person is worth 100 votes of his friends and family. Oh, that's times 100. Sige, ang dami-dami namin. Kasuhan nyo kami lahat. And let's see how many people are still willing to vote for you. Talaga naman, hindi rin nila naiintindihan yung pinaka-basic na tenet, na pinaka-basic na konsepto ng eleksyon. Ito ay yung mas marami ang nananalo. Kukonti na nga lang sila pero ganyan pa rin sila mag-conduct ng kanilang kampanya. Biggest fake news yung mabait daw sila. True. Kasi paano ka magiging mabait kung in the face of all of this evidence, you still insist on your alternative truth? Hey, eto pa, yung sinasabi nila na hindi nga siya ganun katalino pero mabait naman and so on. Pero look at the person with lack of political experience, and that's what happened with Cory Aquino, di ba? And also she let her relatives take over. O ganun din naman yung kay Noynoy. He let his close associates ano ba yun? Kaklase, kapamilya, kabarilan, he just let them. So, and nakikita natin yung mga shared characteristics. Weak yung character, no leadership, and may comfort zone. And that comfort zone was all the people he allowed na gumawa ng pera sa gobyerno or to make so many mistakes. Ito, sabi ni Randy Estigoy, the mere fact that she maligned already the war on drugs in the international scene early in 2016 is already a sign of oligarch puppetry. No vote to the holier-than-thou candidate. O, yun na nga eh. Thank you kay Arlie Mars. And in fact, what I see here is that they are misleading the people. Kasi we're willing to accept somebody as human and as flawed as a Rodrigo Duterte. We're willing to accept that he makes mistakes. Basta nakikita natin may leadership, may angas, ano, and may achievements, may accomplishments. Hindi yung and as a matter of fact, these are two polar opposites, Duterte and Robredo. Kasi si Robredo is all the pink stuff, PR, fluff, pa-cute, Esquire magazine cover. As if nakakadagdag yan. Instead, you have a person, Rodrigo Duterte, beaten and battered by a hostile trad media and an oligarchy that keeps trying to get more benefits. Oh, bakbak na bakbak siya, but instead of being discouraged in his leadership, we all rise to his defense. Leni Robredo cannot inspire that kind of that kind of following. She cannot inspire people to defend her the way we defend Duterte. She cannot inspire people to come up in droves the way Sarah and BBM can. And, di ba, ano yung fake news nila? And here's the other thing that we have to take a look at. Grabe nila kino-call out nila pag mali si Duterte. Grabe yung call out ng pagka tayo, ang mga hampas lupang nasa social media, pag nagkamali tayo, throttle, label na fake news, i-label natin na ganyan. Okay lang. But when it's Leni, nasa na? Nasa na? Nasa na yung nasa na yung aren't you going to hold her accountable for what she says as well? Thank you kay Charles and kay Ma'am Jolene Lesiges. At saka kay Mami M. Pangkape, salamat sa mga insights nyo. Okay. Ito, sabi ni C, fake daw med-cert ni BBM. Oh, well, that's not true. Okay. How can you say, okay, what does fake mean? It's not real. It means that the doctor who supposedly executed that didn't execute that medical certificate. Mali po yun. Ngayon, kung ang sinasabi ninyo ay wala daw lisensya na nakaprint doon, sabi ng mga doctors, hindi yan required. Now, ang alam kong required sa medical certificate is that it must be notarized, which is why Com Guanzon gave 24 hours for BBM's party to submit a notarized medical certificate. So, kung meron mang pagkakulang dyan, mapupuno yan. Kasi yung hard copy, 24 hours pa po. So, yung kung ginagamit ng kabilang partido, yung mga kritiko ni BBM, yung medical certificate na yan, darling, manipis po yan. Ngayon, pinalalabas pa nila na si BBM daw natatakot pumunta sa hearing. Anong katatakutan niya? What is there to be afraid of? Hindi naman siya titistigo. In fact, hindi siya magsasalita. Nakita niyo naman yung ibang mga petitioners were present by Zoom. They weren't allowed to speak. So, ano yung makakatakot doon? So, you cannot accuse BBM of being scared to go to the hearing? Excuse me lang, walang ganun. Ngayon, if your claim is that there's something wrong with the medical certificate, let's wait for the hard copy and see if it is the COMELEC who will reject it. Jeffrey Macaraig, thank you. Sabi ni Mark Anthony de los Reyes, proud of my 4-year badge and top fan badge. What happened to their Mama Leni PR? I don't think she had ever good PR to begin with. Kasi part ng pagiging magaling na PR is to tell this person what you can and what you cannot do. What you're capable of or what you're incapable of. And then to encourage your candidate or your client to fill in what you cannot do. Diba? And, hello, real talk lang, i-recognize ninyo yung kahinaan ng tao. Hindi yung pipilitin ninyo. O sige, pa-interview siya ng pa-interview, pinagla-live nyo pa. What? In the hopes of making her suddenly appear intelligent? Hindi nga niya kaya interviews, pinagla-live nyo pa. O ayan, nagkaroon ng mix-up over nerves and veins. My goodness. Jade Kevin Santos says Pink Clowns claim that those who will vote for Pink Isko Armani are silent BBM supporters now, hence the rise of the anyone but Leni community in FB. Of course, because for them, it's everybody's fault but their own. Pangkape, thank you kay Rene Braga Vainco. Ito, sabi ni Edgar, that's their narrative always as they are only educated. Most Lenny supporters lack research of the real world. Mostly, they only rely on mainstream media. And it also discounts yung very real appreciation natin of what she does. Para sa kanila, it's, pag sinabi mo, ay tanga, hindi siya tanga. May degree siya, may ganito siya, but they're not really meeting the argument. She mistook electric current for water current. She got them mixed up. She miscalculated the cost of rice. she oh my gosh, and there are so many. Diba? She called frontliners, she looked for frontliners saying they're in the front lines. She bababa sa baba. Okay, ayan na naman. Bababa sa baba. She constantly repeats certain phrases or words because she's looking for time to think. And unfortunately for her, even the time that she buys for herself is not enough. Kasi kahit anong oras ang ibili mo pa, madam, kung hindi ka nag-aral, hindi yan lalabas. Garbage in, garbage out lang. So, ang sinasabi pa nga nila, ito, maganda to sabi ni Ma'am Maggie, ano pong na-accomplish niya as VP? Well, what they're saying dun sa kabilang parlor is that marami siyang nagawa. Supposedly, they're talking about her charitable works. Pero if you look into that, merong NGO or various NGOs, they receive donations and then she's the one who just hands it out. Pero sino bang gumawa nun? Siya ba? Is that her job? In fact, the job of the vice president is simply to wait for the president to be incapacitated. Now, she was given two opportunities to show off yung sipag na yan at marami siyang magawa. She was appointed sa HLURB and it took her over a month to even call for a meeting. What was she doing in the meantime? She got appointed to the Dangerous Drugs Board. And what did she do? Naghanap ng datos. And did she find it? Hindi din. And that's all that she was doing. Naghahanap ng datos. Datos siya ng datos. She kept repeating the word until it drove people crazy. Or at least drove me crazy. Sabi ni Ma'am Elena, yung sagot niya sa number ng islands ng Pilipinas, yun na nga, same din pala sagot niya years ago sa isang local interview sa kanya na parang quiz bee. She gave the same answer recently. That shows na hindi siya confused. Hindi niya talaga alam. I only saw that radio interview when she was running for vice president. Ang nakakainis dyan is that she was so confident. 1,700. Max! And then there's also this other video. I don't know if you have seen it. I don't really want to propagate it. Pero meron siyang yung mga para halatang memorized niya. Meron every time may tanong, meron siyang sagot. Ganun pa siya sumagot. And it was and it sounded so much like yung pagka yung mga anak ko nung when they were in grade school. Tapos mag-aaral sila and then I would ask questions. Yung mga kabisote kong anak, proud na gano'n. O kaya, the first time, magre-review kayo, magtatanong ka, ay, hindi ko alam. Ay, mali, ganyan. So, yung second time, confident na, alam nila yung sagot dun sa, gano'n. And so, it only made her look like nagkabisado siya, kabisote lang siya, dun sa mga given answers, na yung answers na nakuha na niya before. And it isn't helping. Diba? Ito, sabi ni Sam Pete, please shout out naman. Parati ko namang ginagawa yun. Mga rail projects natin, especially MRT7 and yung Metro Manila Subway, comfortable life for all. Di ba special concern nga namin sa Luminous yung national railways natin? Especially yung mga projects ng PNR. Kami nga yung unang nag-announce din sa Manila to Malolos, ay ano ba yan? Yeah, Manila to Malolos na railway and then yung papunta pang Clark and all that. So don't 'di ba? Ayun. Oh yes, sabi ni Ate Verdeos. Yes, I saw it. Perfect answer. Walang bakels. Ayun. 'Di ba? Ito, sabi ni Ma'am Lien, she revealed in an interview that she deposited in her personal bank account yung mga binibigay sa kanya na donations noong 2016 VP race. Di po ba illegal yon? Dapat yon na-impeach siya for that. Ay, isa pa yan. Diba? And nobody seems to be, pansin niya, tumataginting yung katahimikan dun sa kabilang parlor. Every time there is a difficult one to answer, a difficult issue to answer, they ignore it. And nobody, not even Trad Media, is going to pick that up. Every time Leni talks, I can feel her insincerity. She can't fake it. I wonder how she is off cam. Remember, there's also that one picture of her na naka-terno na blouse pero naka-shorts tapos meron siyang ginagawa sa kusina. At saka naka-chinelas. Ano yun? What was the point in that? They were trying to make her look real? They're trying to make her look like, wait, totoong tao to. Alam namin na totoong tao siya. She has made more than her share of mistakes, kumbaga. So, eto, sabi naman ni Randy Balbido, I am much worried on the Smartmatic, the code thing, like what happened in 2016 elections. I think this is how we should approach it. Okay? Always the secret to winning and to preventing cheating is that there is no amount of cheating that will be able to overturn a massive victory, like what happened with Duterte. So we have to make sure, it means na hindi dapat magpahinga or makampante. Kasi kahit nakikita natin na ang lakas ng showing ng Uniteam, kailangan malakas ang showing all the way up to election day. Hindi pwedeng makampante. To make to assure ourselves that yung ratings nila dun sa surveys will translate into votes. So yun po. Yes, I understand you're worried and well, we all should be concerned. Pero may paraan 'yan at ang paraan na 'yan is to win in overwhelming numbers. So hindi puwedeng magpahinga, we continue to campaign. Ang pinaka-worry ko dito is 'pag nakakampante yung mga tao at sinasabi nila, panalo na 'yan." Kasi we stop campaigning. Tumitigil yung mga tao na sagutin ng issues, tumitigil ang mga tao dun sa pag-share ng plataporma ng mga kandidato and so on. Na, wag makakampante. Remember yung excitement at saka yung pagsasagot natin, yung angas natin during the Duterte campaign, we have to maintain that level of energy all the way up to election day. Bodel says, kung makikinig lang sana ang Pink kay Attorney Trix, baka madagdagan pa ang boto nila. Oh well, buti na rin, walang silang makinig. That's what I like about them eh. They will not listen. Kumbaga may cognitive dissonance sila. I also remember her video na pinagmamadali na niya yung mga kasama niya while campaigning. She didn't know yata that she was live. Agree. O isa pa yon, mga hi. Bilisan mo. Tapos halatang hindi niya pinaparinig dun sa mga tao sa labas. Bilisan mo. And then her staff or whoever it was who was filming had to tell her, "Ma'am, live tayo." Yes. And 'di ba, Ma'am Bell, parang indication ng insincerity eh, no? And they never answered that. Sabi ni Ma'am Daisy, FVP is dumb. I don't want to waste my vote. Sa araw ng eleksyon, magsuot tayo ng red or green, ipakita natin suportado. Ganito po kayo, ma'am ha, wag po muna natin sundan yan kasi bawal po ang campaigning in the election area sa mga presinto. So baka kayo mapagsabihan and worse, baka hindi kayo papasukin. Remain neutral dun sa area ng botohan. Posibleng ipagbawal po kayo diyan. Be vigilant, sabi ni Zoya. Napansin ko po, daming nag-mind conditioning sa mga pages insinuating the possibility of DQ. So, mamili na daw po ng ibang candidate. That is one thing to divide us. I agree na hindi dapat tayo nagpapatinag sa ganyan. Remember that this case will possibly reach the Supreme Court. And if it reaches the Supreme Court, the whole time na ililitis yan, if there's no TRO, and it's not likely that they will get one, BBM will remain a candidate. Vicente Fernandez says, 1,700 islands talaga kasi lang ang bumoto sa kanya. Hey guys, we focus our attention to president position, but remember the president can't fully function with opposite members of senators. Mayroon mga senador na sobra pa sa character ni Leni. Okay, yes, that is correct. Thank you for reminding everybody. Sabi ni Jerome, tama si Jerome dito, may unit team tayo. And kailangan yung unit team natin maiupo natin for a more harmonious Senate. Para hindi na, look, in 2019 na ipasok natin sa Senado si Senator Bato at saka si Senator Go. Unfortunately, they are so new at halos wala silang kakampi doon na they get outshouted. And dun sa mga sanay na dun sa Senado doon, kayang-kaya nilang paikot-ikutan itong mga to until they gain enough experience. I'm not saying they're stupid or anything like that. Pero sometimes they get beaten by experience. They get beaten by experience or they get cowed by the experience of the other senators there. So we need really smart people who na kaya nilang makipagbardagulan dyan sa Senado and para dumami naman yung mga kakampi ng unit team doon sa loob. So, kailangan po natin yan. Hi kay Ma'am Jackie, thank you. Sabi ni Dave Niebres, sana tumakbo po kayo sa Senado. Malabo po yun. Sabi sa inyo eh, hinahabol natin dito sainthood eh. Mukhang gusto nilang iuna si Leni. Rhea Wada, thank you very much sa super sticker. Sabi ni Jake Peralta, are you saying inevitable yung cheating? No. How can we prevent it? I already said. Okay. When the cheating is done electronically, yung catching that always happens after the fact, not before. Diba? So, what I'm saying is that you can beat the system that they're going to try to use. So, do you believe there was cheating in the 2020 US elections? I think that whatever I believe there might be irrelevant because I'm not a US citizen and kumbaga, my opinion doesn't count. But, well, doesn't count too much. I'm not saying inevitable yung cheating ha. Ulitin ko yan. What I'm saying is that to prevent it or to beat it in case it happens is to vote in overwhelming numbers. She defended it saying she always tells her driver to drive faster para di sila mag-cause ng traffic as if naman. But I always wonder why did her assistant tell her that they were on live? The assistant should have known her actions but parang worried siya. Exactly. Exactly. Correct. Ito, June Lahay-Lahay says, kung sakaling magkaroon ng dayaan, sino ang pwedeng magdeklara ng election failure? COMELEC po. But somebody has to file a petition. Kung tapos na ang termino ng PRRD, ano na mangyayari sa atin? Well, there will be a new president, sir. Ask lang po, totoo po ba na walang kasong naipanalo siya? Si Madam Leni? Kahit kaming mga hampas lupa, yung mga minor questions kayang sagutin. General knowledge hindi alam. Abogada pala siya. Nagtatanong na nagmamahal kay Dikong PH. Okay. I'm not sure if she practiced litigation long enough to win the cases that she handled. There was a short time daw na nasa PAW siya sa public attorney's office, something like 4 months. After that, she was with an NGO, Saligan, which provides legal assistance to indigents or certain identified groups of indigents, peasants, labor, and so on, women and children. And not sure if she actually handled cases for Sadigan, but I know that she would interview some of the potential clients for the NGO. So yun. Uh, Please confirm if it's true that Attorney Glenn Chong appointed to COMELEC as spokesperson. As far as I can see, hindi pa po. I haven't heard that po. And wala naman din akong text kay Attorney Glenn. So, I don't think so. Mag-ingat po tayo. Pagka sa mga ganyan, let's always wait for official announcements. Okay? For those asking about what happened in the hearing yesterday, made live po kami yesterday so you can refer to that one. We give a blow-by-blow of the proceedings. Hi kay Ma'am Tess Okana, thank you very much. Dina PC Jones says, yes, cheating is real here in the US. Like, natulog lang kami pagising namin si Biden na. Like Leni in 2016, natulog lang pagising lumamang na ng sobra. Correct. Ano na nangyari kay Ate Shawi in her crying drama in her Cebu visit at wala namang dalang kahit ano at nag-promise pa na babalik at magbigay ng ayuda pero mabuti pa si General MacArthur bumalik. Okay. Sabi ni Ma'am Karen, nakalimutan ko itong itanong kahapon, bakit yung COMELEC spokesperson sinabing okay lang wala si BBM pero hinanap siya ni Guanzon? Well, no, to be fair, hinanap lang siya ni Guanzon. But you're right kasi Ganito, normally yan, during preliminary conference, in court kasi nire-require yung parties pumunta unless merong good reason, in which case magsasubmit ka ng whatever good reason that was, medical certificate. Hindi talaga pwedeng hindi dumating yung lawyer kasi madi-default yung client. You should, unless meron, tapos yung client has to show up kasi hindi nakakailanganin ng SPA yung lawyer. Kasi kailangan patunayan ng lawyer na authorized siya to appear in preliminary conference in the absence of his client. So if Com Guanzon was applying the rules of court suppletorily, then talagang hahanapin niya. Kasi 'pag nandun parang affirmation na, "Oh, itong abogadong 'to authorized siya dito sa preliminary conference." Very specific kasing rules sa ano, sa preliminary conference. And si Sir James baka hindi niya alam 'yon, ah, baka hindi niya alam yung aspeto na 'yon. Ah, However, yun na nga, with a medical certificate, the absence of BBM is not fatal. So, kumbaga ang nagbi-big deal lang naman diyan ay yung kabilang parlor. But even batikos nila sa medical certificate kasi walang drama katulad nung kay Chris. Hindi, marami silang hinahanap in the med-cert pero sa totoo lang valid naman 'yon. And Com Guanzon gave the BBM's lawyers 24 hours to submit the hard copy with the copy going to be given to the other parties. Imagine the nerve if may court hearing tapos si Madam Leni yung defense counsel tapos si Kong Guanzon yung presiding judge. It's hard to imagine, huh? Ito, nasa na yan? Ito, sabi ni Jello, but can you say nag-tweet si Wen Guanzon na may lagnat? Karma ba niya yon? Kasi pag tweet-tweet siya kay BBM na may sakit, kasi pa tweet-tweet siya kay BBM na may sakit, siya din tuloy nagkasakit. Well, ako kasi I don't really want to wish bad health on anybody, not even on the people who oppose our political views. Ano na, I hope she gets well. I don't, well, if if it is, I don't think that's karma, it's really going around. May sakit talaga. Kasi bakit, parang biglang inisip ko, oh my gosh, masama akong tao, 2 beses ako nagkasakit nitong the last 2 months. Sorry for asking, ano yung tungkol sa later part ng hearing na naghahanapan pa sila ng case number, pinapa-research pa sa Google? Natawa ako kay Guanzon about disorganized thoughts when she said, watch out yung bad grammar, hakaloka. She's very particular about that. Ganun talaga siya. And there are some judges and commissioners who are like that talaga. So they were looking for the case number of the dismissal of the case that was filed by BBM before the Supreme Court. And kasi nandun sa part na yung Bonifacio Ilagan case, tinatanong ng lawyer, he wanted it raised as a stipulation na winidraw ni BBM yung kanyang appeal to the Supreme Court na winidraw niya yon. So, yun lang. So, tinanong tuloy, what's the case number? So, hanapin nyo. Pwede nyo naman i-google yan. And so on. So, ayun. Yun lang. It wasn't that big a deal. Minsan talaga may mga gano'n na details at yun yung talaga nagpapatagal sa mga hearings. Ano to? VP race pareho si Sara at si Soto. Bakit? Ano na nangyari yan dyan? Ano po yun? May mga previous case po ba sa history na ganyan ang nangyari kay BBM sa disqualification case na very intimidating i-broadcast? I think this is one of the first times that I've heard a case being put online na yung ganito. Aside from the oral arguments of the Supreme Court. But remember, the nature of all hearings is that it is supposed to be public. That's why hindi naman nila lock yung pintuan. Nagko-closed door hearings lang kapag yung rape cases, kasi para to protect the victims, and especially pagka yung mga kaso involving children or child witnesses and so on. So, sinasara yun. Otherwise, the nature of any hearing is supposed to be public. Yun lang nga, many judges and even the Supreme Court is hesitant to televise this kasi baka maging circus. So, they have to balance those two ideas. Okay, last two questions para hindi kayo masyado mapuyat. She needs more than 100 advisors, sir, and a very special advisor on how to keep track of her answers on interviews. Okay. Same po ba yung nilalaman ng petitions ni Calleja o Dakbayan in Ilagan? Well, yung kay Attorney Calleja has been dismissed. That was a petition for intervention in the case filed by Tedite, by Attorney Tedite. So wala na po yan. If yes, madismiss po yung kinaakbayan in Ilagan. No, those are different things. Kasi nga, ang action ni Attorney Calleja was to intervene in the cancellation of candidacy, of certificate of candidacy. Iba po. Although we can have the same grounds, iba po yung remedies. That's why yung yung disqualification, kahit late na yun na file, yung period kasi for filing for cancellation of the certificate of candidacy is 5 days after the last day unless in-extend ng ng Supreme Court ay ng COMELEC. Hopper, the Explorer, says, may possibility pa kaya na magkaroon ng fairness sa aming mga vloggers na laging nire-report na fake news daw kami basta BBM post, fake news na kagad. Ha, I don't know. Kasi kahit ako, I'm being throttled a lot. Kaya mas madalas na sometimes mas maraming hits pa ang YouTube kesa sa Facebook, even if I have more followers on Facebook than on YouTube. Facebook really throttles me with or without a transgression. It was a clear mental lapse on her part. What's concerning are the numerous times she's been caught blundering, mostly with knowledge or info, which are basic or elementary. Need to work on communication too. Sabi ni Jason, Leni flunked in the bar because she always intends to have kilometric answers, usually in repetitive phrases na walang punto like in her radio show. She cannot say a brief answer pero may punto. Well, that's speculation. We have no evidence of that. We only know is that she says that she did not pass in the first take. Sabi ni Ian, that's also, don't forget the congressman and party list na kalaban din ng bayan, bantayan din ng boto dyan. Kung maaari, kaalyado, dapat ng presidente ang mga halal para dyan. All the way down po to the mayors, the councilors, and so on. Congressmen, we need to get them all on dapat unity team. Para I mean, of course meron pa rin naman criticism na naaabot, and hindi naman natin pinipreventing criticism, but we want people who are on board, same vision, same intent to give quality service to the people. So tapos hindi yung nagko-concentrate sa lang ng babatikos lang. Mae-elect nga pero ang ginagawa lang is parating inaabala yung mga nagtatrabaho sa gobyerno. Okay, last. Dan says, just keep supporting BBM. Alam naman natin kung anong tama. Di nyo ba pipigil ang paninira ng Dilawan? 35 years na nilang ginagawa yon. BBM, Sara, Unity. Last, what is your measurement in this case or petition, at least your comment of percentage? I think what you're asking for are odds. And odds usually mean that kinikilatis nyo yung possibility of wins or losses. I very rarely do that for cases. What we can do simply is to evaluate the arguments and see if they have basis, or if there are valid defenses on the part of the respondent. And my personal opinion, you don't need to agree, is that there are more than sufficient defenses on the part of the petitioner, and that I don't think that this is going to win. But that's just me. Okay, and that is purely my personal opinion based on what I have read of the pleadings and the memoranda that was filed by Attorney Te. So, although it is an interesting discussion for lawyers, we also know that this is going to go up to the Supreme Court. Kasi ready yung mga ano dito, yung mga petitioners dito. Sabi nila pag natalo sila, they're going to go to the Supreme Court. So this is going to take some time before it is decided with finality. Thank you, Kimon at Yansa. Meron ba akong na-miss? So maraming salamat. Maraming salamat sa lahat ng sumubaybay dito sa live natin ngayon, Sutil Saturday. Um, I hope we have time tomorrow or I can get out of bed long enough to live rin tomorrow. Sabi ng YouTube, kailangan ko daw dalasan yung live ko. So, thank you very much. I hope everybody has a good night. Tulog na kasi yung dogs and cat. Jack, andun sa kanto si Jack. So, good night. But they said good night to you guys. May karambola sa Monday. We'll try lang ha to or even to upload a short video tomorrow on other matters dito, or maybe I'll make a synopsis of this one for dun sa sa videos to be uploaded YouTube tomorrow. So please don't forget, like, share, follow, subscribe, especially dun sa mga follow dun sa Facebook natin. Paki-check po kung nakaka-follow kayo. Kung hindi niyo po kami nakikita sa inyong mga newsfeed, that means na baka na-throttle kayo or kami. So all you have to do is unfollow, refresh the page sa Luminous po, and then follow again. And that way you'll probably it will show up again in your news feed. Para dun sa hindi pa nagko-follow, follow nyo naman kami, like and follow sa aming Facebook page. At dun sa hindi pa po nagsusubscribe, dito po sa YouTube channel natin. Oh, by the way, meron kasing nagbabatikos sa akin dito sa, if I'm not mistaken, sa YouTube, saying hindi naman daw po ako ang magde-decide ng kaso na to. Ganito po kasi yun, kaya nga pwede kami mag-express ng opinion kasi hindi ako ang magde-decide. So the COMELEC commissioners who are going to decide, they will not come up with videos. They will make minimum explanations of the processes, pero they cannot give an opinion. And that's precisely like why we can do this. Ano nangyari, Meg? Teka, di din kami matutulog. May suspense si TP. Oo nga, meron daw balita of a hacking. So iniintay ko rin yung yung paglabas ng balita na yon. We'll see what we can do also about how but din natin, himayin din po natin yan. Let's take that apart for the legal issues that could possibly be involved in that one. So have a good night, have a good rest, and tomorrow we'll see what we can do about another live. But if we do a live tomorrow, it will be mostly Q&A and lang, and something light. Siguro let's go deal with history and culture tomorrow. Kung hindi pumutok yung sa hacking incident. Maraming salamat. Uy, may pahabol si Ma'am Clea. Thank you. Have a lovely weekend for everybody also. The dogs and the cats say hi. Thank you. Good night.